on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you can flip the camera.
All right. Is it going?
Yeah.
Hey everyone, not sure if this is working. This is the first live stream I'm doing on 5G. Usually I do it on Wi-Fi, so the quality is usually pretty good. And in fact, I haven't done a live stream in a long time, so I felt like it's about time to do that. We're gonna try something new. We're gonna try to go live with the Lectric XP Trike 2. We're gonna try to take it up this hill, see how it does as far as the power goes. And figured I'd do a live stream. If any of you have any suggestions or ideas or things you wanna see or know about the Lectric XP Trike 2, let me know. I do want to disclose they did send me this for testing, and I'll put links down below in the description maybe after this. I think I tagged one of these, so if you guys want to check out the product and see the pricing and everything. During pre-order, pretty good deal. It comes with the big seat here, a suspension seat post, and the premium headlight if you go ahead and pre-order. This one is $14.99 currently, and is going to be $17.99 for the 750 watt version. Do we have anybody on yet, bud?
Yep, 3 people.
Oh, cool. Thanks for joining in, everyone. So I just got this thing. It did not come without flaws. FedEx banged it up like normal during shipping. They actually rolled it out of the FedEx truck into my garage. I seen it on my security camera, but the back wheel here is a little bit bent. But they are sending me another wheel, so that's a good thing. And very easy to change, but I'll show you here on the wheel. This one here, show it, bud. You can see how bent the rear wheel is. But it's still rideable, so we're gonna try it out and see how we do up this hill. Now this bike here, the 500 watt version, has 65 Newton meters of torque, which is a little bit crazy because the brand new XP4 500 watt version only has 55 Newton meters of torque. So this has 10 more Newton meters of torque, being the same wattage as the new XP4, which I found a little interesting. And if you do opt for the 750 watt trike, it's gonna have 85 Newton meters of torque, which is the same as the XP4 750. And if anybody that's joined in has any questions, please put them down below. But we're gonna go down this hill here and test it out. Let me know how the audio quality is too, guys. Got my DJI wireless mic hooked up to the phone, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Actually, let me know anyway if you can hear me or not. And this is where it gets a little sketchy going down a hill sideways like this. So you definitely have to be careful doing that, because these bikes, once you get up on an angle a little bit with the rear wheel, it wants to kind of track. However, it's leaning, so keep that in mind. A lot of times people got to get used to riding these. I had one as a kid, so I'm pretty used to it. This is just throttle only, fully charged battery. And that wheel came off the ground and started to spin, so we're gonna have to try that again. I kind of got to lean. Let's see if I can whoa, the front wheel's coming off the ground. All right, let's see if I can start out here and finish pedaling up it. Whew, actually I did. That's pretty impressive, honestly, that I was able to pedal up that. The front wheel started coming off the ground though when I stopped. I was leaned back too far. So one thing to know about this trike, it's the same as the original. Once the wheel gets off the ground, the one that's off the ground starts to spin, and the one that stays on the ground does not spin. It's kind of a safety feature. If you go to lean, it's not going to take off and throw you. So that's kind of nice that it's a safety feature. And one thing to know about the Lectric trike is that it's rear wheel driven. So you don't have a wheel in the front, or I mean a motor in the front. Trikes with a motor in the front, when you hit a steep hill like that, the weight comes off the front end and that wheel starts to spin pretty easily. The weight stays on the rear, so it gives you a little bit more torque and a little bit more power up the hills, which is kind of nice. And it's very, very easy to do 360 to turn here. You can see it has a kind of like a limited slip differential in the rear where, you know, either wheel can spin or both wheels can spin. And there is something I noticed about this trike when I put it together that I actually had to reach out to Lectric and ask them, because I thought it was off a little bit, but they said it was normal. I'll let you guys know that here in a couple minutes. But let's try it again and see if we can get up this hill without the rear motor spinning at the bottom and see if we can get any further. Anybody have any questions yet, bud? And I always start right here on all my testing with when I try bikes up this hill with throttle. That way it equals the playing field. Let's see, you got the amps Let me lean this way. 20 amps of output, 1,082 watts is what it said it was outputting. It's supposed to output, I believe, 1,092 watts. Whoa, that front wheel started coming up. All right, I'm just gonna walk this one up. The front wheel started coming up a little bit there because I wasn't leaned over far enough. But very capable trike though, guys, but we're gonna try it again pedaling and see how that goes. And hopefully this vertical live stream, that's the first time I'm trying this too, so hopefully it's showing up good. Hopefully you can hear the audio good, and hopefully the quality's good over 5G. This thing is pretty peppy though. I gotta tell you, I can't wait to try out the 750 watt version. And I hope my mic's not cutting out when I turn my back to you guys. If not, DJI mic's working pretty good. All right, let's try this, just pedaling slightly. Gonna lean forward just a little bit. Oh yeah, excellent power. You just gotta remember, like this hill here has a little bit of an angle to it. So as soon as you get on a tilt and that one wheel comes off the ground, it starts spinning. So you gotta kind of remember to lean whichever way the hill is. That way you can keep weight on that wheel so it doesn't come up off the ground. Because as soon as that starts spinning, you kind of stop. Whew, I'm a little bit out of breath. So one thing I noticed when I put it together was this rear sprocket seemed like it wasn't exactly in line with that front sprocket. And I noticed when it's up on one wheel, you kind of hear a little, it kind of sounds a little bit funny. But then they said that was normal, so I did some more testing and I picked up both wheels and it sounds perfectly quiet. So I'm assuming that's normal, just being off a little bit. I would have liked to have seen it being in line with that front sprocket, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be just fine. But this one here is the new white color. I actually forget the name. Stratus White, that's what it is, Stratus White. But you can get it in tons of different colors now. And if you go with the 750 watt version, they include even more colors than that, than the 500 watt version. It has a really nice designed hydroform front frame here, which I absolutely love. And one thing I do want to show you that's different than the original trike, let me shut this thing off, is that when you fold it, on the old trike you could keep the front wheel on when you fold it, but on this one you actually have to take the front wheel off. But what's different about this one is it has a quick release front wheel, so you can't really get this doesn't clear in here, so you can't, I mean, I guess you could fold it this much or maybe keep it on the outside like, well, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work when you try to fold it this way. But even on the other trike, whenever you folded it, it was always up on an angle like that. But this one, what sets this one off a little different than the original one, and you have to watch this side here with the crank interfering with the pedals. This one has a quick release front wheel, comes off very easy. Show this, bud. So you flip this down and unscrew this. Now the original version did not have a quick release front wheel, and this has a through axle, so it makes it really nice and easy. Plus it's very durable being a through axle like this. So you just unscrew that, take that pin out, and then this pops right off. And one thing I want to mention is do not throw away that piece that comes with the front hydraulic brake. There's a little shim that goes in there because you don't want to squeeze these brakes when there's no rotor in there, because you could pop your piston out and then you're going to have issues. So if you keep that piece, you can put it back in there. But let's see this. Actually, it still doesn't go in there. That's something to know. I actually didn't try that. So that's the furthest you can fold it. On the original one, you could actually fold that all the way up in there and it would go inside there. I didn't even know that didn't go up in there. I figured it would without the front wheel on. Let's see here. Maybe you could get it in there if this light wasn't on there, this premium light, because you could spin that all the way around, get it in there, and then maybe turn the forks back around. But with that premium light on there like that, you're not going to be able to fold it all the way up. And then if that front basket's on there, it's going to be kind of sticking out. So keep that in mind. It does sit a little bit nicer like that without the front wheel on, but that's about the smallest you're going to get it to fold up. And then the handlebars fold down as well. And this is going to save me tons of time rather than editing this video, guys. Usually I show all this stuff and do all this testing and then have to edit it all. So I guess that's the benefit of live streaming. So there's as small as it'll fold up. Go around and show it, bud. How many people were on there?
17.
Oh, sweet. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Any questions yet?
Nope.
So yeah, there's about as small as it'll fold up. I would have liked to have seen this still be able to go up in there. Now you could always pop this rear wheel off. Let's see. I mean, it's so close to fitting in there. But even this front fender is going to hit that. So like I said, you might be able to sneak it in there if this light wasn't on there. But with that light on there, it's going to be a little tricky getting that to go all the way in. And you could pop these handlebars completely out and take those off. That'll get it a little bit smaller. So it's still pretty small when it's folded. But if you pop these center caps out here, come in and show this. There's one Allen key there. If you take that one bolt out, you could pop the whole wheel off. But you're still going to have this fender to worry about. So it still might not clear. So if you need to transport this thing a lot, you might want to just leave these rear fenders off. And these ones don't have the brake light in the fenders like the original version did. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, it had brake lights in the fenders as well. And they had metal fenders. These ones are plastic, which I like better because they're a little bit quieter and you don't have to worry about dings and dents. But you might want to just keep them off. I actually like the look of it with them off. I do like the front fender on, but I like the look of the rear fenders off. So just something to keep in mind if you have to pack it up a lot. They come off very easily. Come over here, bud. There's two bolts here. If you just take these two bolts off, you could take the whole rear fender off. So even if you had to take the one fender and wheel off just to get it to fold up smaller, then once you get it folded in there, you could bolt the wheel back on. But just something to keep in mind. If you don't have to fold it, that'd be the easiest way to transport it. But it is very nice that it has that quick release on the front. But this bike, I mean, these trikes are fun though, guys. I do feel like the max speed on this one is 13 miles an hour, about the same. It's like right around 13, 14 miles an hour. I think it's 13, about the same as the original one. The 750 is supposed to be, I think, around 17 miles an hour. And with this through axle, the front wheel goes on real easy too. It just sets in there and then you put this back in and tighten it up.
Someone said they have the original and the problem is the weight. They said for folding, taking the seat off helps too.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know if you heard that. I should have probably mic'd my son up too, but somebody just commented that the weight is the issue with folding it, and taking the seat off helps. Definitely does help. And another thing I want to mention about weight is the front and rear baskets. That's another thing I would have liked to have seen. Is Lectric is still using steel for the baskets in the cargo basket and the front rack or front basket, whatever you want to call it. And this rear basket here, being as small as it is, it's heavy duty. It's very heavy duty, but it's 7 pounds alone because it's solid steel. And the front rack is 5 pounds, so that's going to add about 12 pounds to this trike if you mount that on there. Some people might opt for maybe like a plastic crate or something, try to mount it down there to lower that weight a little bit on there. With that being said, I mean, even though this trike doesn't fold like the initial one, not many of these trikes do fold. There's not many folding trikes. But the weight, it doesn't seem too bad. I almost feel like, I don't still have the old ones, so I can't compare, but I almost feel like it might be shorter this way. But like I'm saying, without the original one, I can't really compare side by side, but it does feel a little bit shorter this way possibly, especially being that this doesn't actually fold up into there like the original one. The original one would fold up in there with the front tire still on, which was kind of nice, and you could leave the basket on, and the basket kind of sat right here, the front basket. I'm not sure if the front basket would actually be able to stay on when you fold it or not. It'd probably be hanging out over the side. But very nice. The display on here is their new display, which is awesome. So it's a black and white display, but shows you all different kind of stuff. It's the same as the XP4. Shows you your cadence, your motor power, amps, volts. And then you have a really big display here for your speedometer. But when you go into the display settings here, this is what I really love. Everything is very, very self-explanatory here. bike classification 1 or 2, rider mode, beginner or standard. Make sure you put that in standard after you get real familiar with it, or else it won't really feel like it has a ton of torque. Your throttle, you could either make it active or inactive, which is nice. Throttle output, full throttle on all PAS levels, which I absolutely recommend. I love when it's full throttle on all PAS levels. I had to change the controller recently on my XP 3.0 step through, and I had the old controller where the throttle was at unlimited. You could set it for being unlimited in any pedal assist level up to 20 miles per hour. And the new controller they sent me to replace that had the new system where it limits your power to each level. And I kind of prefer having full throttle on any level. That way, if you're only in 1 or 2, you could still use the throttle if a dog runs out in front of you or whatever and just take off. So that's the way I prefer it. Instead of you having to hit the buttons up and down all the time to increase your throttle output, I like just having it there all the time. Now, one thing I'm curious about, and I'm supposed to be getting one that I'm definitely going to be trying, because this is my #1 concern and question for the 750 watt trike. It's supposed to have a torque sensor. This one has a cadence sensor, but these trikes are only single speed. So the 750 watt one is going to have a torque sensor, but being that it's only single speed, you kind of run out of pedal power right around 10, 11 miles per hour. It feels like you're pedaling too fast. So with the 750 watt version having a torque sensor, it's supposed to go 17 miles per hour, but I'm wondering if it's actually going to do 17. Hopefully it'll do 17 with just the throttle, because then it won't be no issue. But with the torque sensor, I feel like after about 11 or 12 miles an hour, you're going to run out of pedal and have to be pedaling really fast and pushing really hard to go past like 12 miles per hour. But if you can use the throttle to get up to that 17, then it's going to be no issue, and it's going to be awesome. Because I always felt like this trike should have been a little bit faster on the 1.0, but that's me. I love speed. I love going fast sometimes. Most people are going to be fine at 13 to 14 miles per hour of this one. And honestly, it's probably a lot safer for a lot of people. But let's see, any other settings in here? I think that's 0 start, walk mode, light operation. Yeah, that's about it. But very, very easy to read on the display, very self-explanatory. And this bike is basically new, guys. I haven't even there's 1 mile on it. I just got it put together, just got the bugs worked out of it with that rear wheel, doing some diagnosing. What I did was I switched the wheel from one side to the other. Now these are directional tires, so you're not gonna wanna do that all the time, but I did it just to see if the axle was bent, and it spun perfectly, so I knew just the wheel was bent. So they're gonna send me a new wheel, no issues, very easy to change it. And that's basically what I wanted to show you. Let me try to show you a little bit of a max speed run here while we got you on here on a live. How many people are in there?
Hold on. 16, except somebody said, can you read it?
Yeah, no, I can't read it. What'd somebody say?
So they said, Lectric bikes are way overpriced. A 500 watt 10 amp hour bike for over $1,000 in 2025. You can get 1,000 watt motor bikes with 6 times the amp hour and double the torque for less money.
Yeah, so I got somebody commenting saying you can get a bike for way less money and Lectric's way overpriced. Well, here's the deal, guys. You can get stuff that has better performance and maybe a better price, but the question is, are they going to be around long term? Lectric, I feel like, now any company can go out of business, but I feel like Lectric has been around for a long time. They care about their customers. They really take care of them when it comes time for customer service issues. Yeah, right now you're seeing a lot of things online about the new XP4. I mean, I'm sure their customer service is getting overwhelmed with the brand new release of the XP4 and the new XP Trike 2. They're probably getting tons of calls just on that alone. And so, yeah, people are going to have longer wait times and things like that right now, but the thing is are they going to be around long term? Because when you buy an e-bike, not all controllers are easy to find. If your controller goes out and you have some no-name brand bike that goes out of business, you're going to have a hard time finding a controller to fit that bike to match it up. And then even if you do find a controller that might work, sometimes you might have to change the display. It might not match up with your wiring, and you might have issues down the road. But I feel like Lectric long term and for one, they're not even overpriced. For what you get on these bikes with the hydraulic brakes and just the quality of the design and the build, in my opinion, they're not overpriced. They're priced really well. I mean, their original Lectric XP that I purchased, I paid, what was it, 800 or 900, I think 900 bucks for it, brand new. And the brand new ones are only $100 more, and that's like, what, 3-4 years later? But now they have hydraulic brakes, they have way better everything. I mean, everything about the bike is better than the original XP, and the price only increased $100, and that's even with the tariffs being in place. So their philosophy is build a better bike. The profits they put back into building a better bike for next time, they do have those margins there that they have to hit. They have the low end and the high end, and they don't want to go over the high end. If they ever start going over that high end, they start putting the money back into the bike. So in my opinion, it's a great deal. And the customer service is one reason why it's worth it, in my opinion alone. So yeah, you can go get better bikes, but sometimes don't always, and I'm kind of ranting here, but don't always trust what you see in specs online, because even though it's rated for certain things, sometimes those numbers are the peak. Like this one is a 500 watt motor, but it peaks at 1,092 watts, and the 750 is going to peak at 1,310 watts. Some companies will advertise a bike being 1,000 watts or 1,092 watts, but that's the peak, so it's basically the same. So you can't always trust the ratings online or what they advertise it to be. And sometimes the batteries could be lesser quality, it could be non-branded cells or just lack of quality and might not hold up as long. I'm not saying that's the case with every other bike company, because it's not, but that's why I love doing this testing and love getting out there riding these bikes and showing you guys exactly how they perform, because honestly, that's the only thing that's going to show you the legit performance of these bikes and how they last. And if you follow my other videos, you know that when I have issues, I show those too, because that's the only way to keep it real and keep it true. And if I didn't want to show you, I wouldn't have showed you the bent rim on this. And I show you everything. Got to be honest. Got to have some integrity.
The same person said, Lectric says that their XP4 will get 85 miles. Should we trust Lectric saying that lie?
Well, it all depends on. So I'm not sure if you can hear my son. Hopefully, if not, read down through the comments. But so they're saying, can the Lectric XP4 get 85 miles? I'm not sure if you're referring to the one with the 17.5 amp hour battery or the 10.4 amp hour battery of the 500 watt version, but it really depends on how you ride it. So I went camping with the 500 watt version, and around the campground in the first 2 days, I got 22 miles out of that battery, but there was tons of hills. Now, usually when bike companies rate their miles, usually it's a perfect scenario with a perfect size rider on flat ground, no wind, probably pavement, who knows. So you can't always trust those. If you're riding on gravel, up hills, you're a heavier rider. There's a lot of things that are gonna play into that and get you different range values. But for example, the original XP out on the bike trail, well, around town I would get like 17 miles. Going up hills, full speed, 28 miles an hour, hitting the hills, having to pedal because it won't do it on just throttle. And I'd get like 17, 18 miles. I took that same bike, same battery on the bike trail, which I made a video of. You can go check it out. It's a couple years old. But I think it was 37 miles out of the same battery. So from 17 to 37 is a huge difference. And that's on a 10 amp hour battery. So 37 miles, I would say maybe you might get 50 to 60 on the XP4 if you were on a bike trail and I was doing the same kind of test. But again, if I'm riding around home, I might only get maybe 22 to 25 miles around home on the XP4, riding up all these hills, riding at 28 miles an hour. So I don't know. You might be able to trust them. If you stay in pedal assist 1 and do help pedal it and use a minimal power, you might get the 80 miles out of the 17.5 amp hour battery, but it depends really on how you ride it. So let's try the max speed here. We're gonna do just throttle. Turbo mode here. And this is the pickup on it, 12, 13, 14 miles an hour right here. And these brakes are really nice on this bike, guys. Even on the XP4, super quiet. They're really quiet. Let's see if I can show you. Lock them up. Very nice braking though. But I feel really comfortable on here, even when I'm hitting potholes or on a hillside. But a lot of people, I'm telling you, are not gonna feel comfortable at first on these. Once you hit a little bit of a grade, even something like this, let me show you, you're gonna have to get used to it, because even like if you hit a grade like this, where one wheel's down, it's gonna wanna track, and it's gonna feel like it wants to tip over. It's gonna wanna go that way. But for me, I feel like it's very steady. But I really like it, honestly. I used to have one of these when I was a kid. If you watched my first review video, I had one that wasn't electric. I saved up for like, I don't know, like a couple months and bought this bike off a guy for like 70 or 80 bucks. Had my newspapers in the back with a Walkman and a stereo. It was awesome until my brother ran into it with his dump truck and bent the rear wheel. And then I had to get rid of it. But another thing new on this one is the front suspension. I think a lot of people are gonna love that new front suspension on there. It makes a huge difference, hitting bumps, huge difference. I don't know how I feel about this big seat. Honestly, I could probably get away with a regular seat on here, probably a Cloud 9, or I rode that XP4 with that really cheap seat that I bought. I'm actually liking that seat. I only paid like 12 bucks for it, but I think they're only like 16 to 20 brand new. You could check out the XP4 video that I rode around the campground. I showed and put a link to that video of that seat, but it's been working good too. But I'm not sure how I like this big seat. It's probably going to be good for a lot of people. This back's adjustable up and down, but I honestly would prefer maybe just a regular seat. But like I said, a lot of people are going to like this because of the back on it. It is nice for older people. I just think I want something that I could kind of scoot my butt back further and get a little bit more of a further back riding position, in my opinion. And love the BMX style handlebars on here, adjustable forward and back. And these new emergency brake levers here are pretty awesome. You just lock that and then it clicks as you pull them in, and then you unlock it, and when you pull it, it releases. Really nice. Now, one thing about this, when I got this, I thought one side was broke because this was just flopping around. There's a little tiny Allen screw right there. If you tighten that up, it will tighten this lever up. So no issue after I tighten that up. So it works perfect. It has the half grip twist throttle, just like on the original one. But overall, guys, yeah, definitely a really nice upgrade. I can't wait to try out the 750. And like I said, I'm hoping that throttle gets us up to 17 miles an hour on that one. And if it does, it's going to be awesome. So I think that's about it. If nobody else has any questions, I'm probably going to get off here. But let me know how the quality turned out on this. Because like I said, this is the first time I've ever live streamed on 5G. Usually I'm at home on Wi-Fi, which I have really good internet. And not sure how this is going to turn out. But if it turned out good, maybe I'll do another one. And let me know what else you guys want to see on the Lectric XP Trike. And by the way, I don't have it here, but I got the XP4 750 fixed. The initial test video I did up this hill with the 500 watt version versus the 750 watt version. You guys can see there I had some issues there with a throttle error and was having some noises coming from the motor. I got that fixed. They sent me the parts no problem, and I put those on. So if you want to see what fixed that and what the issue was, go check out that video. Just posted it the other day, and then my initial video when I did that test was a couple weeks ago. So check it out. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully it helps you fix yours if you have problems in the future. And if you guys are interested in picking one of these up, or electric or any other bike, if you watch all my other videos, please use the links down below in the description, even for accessories, and it helps support my channel and helps me keep creating these videos. So nobody else has any questions, we're gonna get off here. I appreciate you all tuning in, whoever did, and see you around on the next one. Thanks for watching.